Hello guys, it's Jean-betrand again. I hope I find you well. So yeah, you guys might be familiar with this place already. This is one of our Restore Earth initiative that we're trying to implement in partnership with Kuimba Shiri and African Youth Coalition on Climate Change, leading the initiative. So if you guys see, we are at Lake Chiri Recreational Park, which is a renowned water supply for the city of Harare and surrounding towns. It has quite very interesting nature that you guys might come across. And behind me is a natural fish pond that we are creating, and another one behind me here. And the fascinating thing about this pond is, as you can see, the water that is in there is coming down, or it's emanating from a wetland. It's not pumped or whatever, but it's actually emanating from the ground. So if you go down, progressing towards the lake, you will see that there is an area that has not been worked on, or which is just flattened out. The area has been affected by silt and it's drying up, but this area up here, because we dug out the silt and increase the capacity of this area to hold water, you can see it still has some water in here. So the science is quite interesting, but it does not need a doctor. It just needs basic knowledge and analogy to see how best we can make use of what we have to produce the little that we can. So given that the rains come, you can see there are wells that are at the end there. There's going to be an overflow of water that will be taking water into the next pond, into the next water, until it gets to the lake. But unlike the first part that I'm referring to, that you guys will see on the pictures, it's going to be a little bit different, because that area is dry right now, but not entirely dry, but it's more like bare ground, which is more exposed and is losing more water, heated the most than this area that we are at, which is still supplying to the ecosystem. It is cooling off the environment, and it still holds some plants. There's lots of vegetation that you guys can see. And once we are done with the construction of these ponds and we're starting to breeding some fish, it's going to be an educational center or an aquarium that you guys would come and enjoy fishing or see fish in it. For recreational purposes too, for educational purposes, and at times for consumption as in food. This is going to be also your protein. So hopefully we'll be able to put in some plants, some vegetation, and a few islands. For instance, there's like that hill behind me. We want it to be surrounded so that water goes around it and it becomes more green and lovable. I don't know what you guys think, but I think this should be like a motivation for some of you and some of us, and we can learn one or two things out there. We can start doing several things with our environment and vegetation. It's really beautiful out there. Why wait on doing something? Just maybe do the least that you can do. I don't know. By the way, there are horses also in there behind me, if you guys can see them. This is quite a beauty. Lots of birds. You can hear them in the trees. Yeah, lots of flowers. And I must say, we have already started getting some new bird species that we haven't got in years. They are actually coming this way, migrating from wherever they were, which is a good sign for the vegetation and the ecosystem.